What is up, everybody? So, we have a new patch coming next Tuesday, and there's been so much information and so many different patch notes that's come out over the past few weeks, into months, and they finally come out with a compiled 10.1 patch notes list. So, I'm going to go through each healer over the next few days here, and give you guys a should you or should you not play this healer. Give you a little overview on all the changes, PvE and PvP. All together, and then my little conclusion of should you play it. All right, so let's get right into it here. So today we're going to be talking about the Discipline Priest. So for going over every change that Discipline Priest is getting, we are getting Shadow Word Death reduction. I don't know how much this has an effect in PvE, but PvP, this is definitely going to be a nice one for because there was a talent that was Eternal Rest that is getting removed, so you no longer need that short death talent, and that will help out for deathing traps and deathing polys and stuff like that, especially with mages probably becoming a little more prevalent than they were in Season 1. We're getting improved Master Spell cast time reduced, so the fast Master Spell is getting slower. Honestly, with this being put into the game, I don't even know if it's even worth that talent point at that point. Might as well just play, go into Inspiration with that extra point if you have it, over that. Psychic Scream now hits all enemies within 8 yards and Void Tendrils. So Void Tendrils and Psychic Scream no longer have a cap. This is amazing, especially in PvP. So it's probably very useful in PvE as well, being able to not have to worry about if there's more than 5 targets. You can't, you won't fear anything with Demo Lock pets. When you would go into a pack in fear, you would just be like, oh, maybe I'll get them, maybe I won't. And this is going to be guaranteeing you now that you get everything. Really, really nice change because of how prevalent all these pet classes are and stuff like that. So both those are going to be super useful for us. Divine Star and Halo should now properly override the other when swapping talents. Okay, just quality of life thing. Enduring Luminescence now also reduces the cast time of Power Radiance by 30%. So that is the talent over here. So most people did take Bright Pupil to reduce the cooldown of it. This one made the atonement a little bit longer. This may come into use in PvE. I don't think it in PvE. The one thing in PvP I was looking at is like maybe if you run Ultimate Radiance, maybe you don't run Ultimate Radiance, and then you have like a fast cast one, because you combine this change with the fact that it's now radiant damage, radiant school, and not holy. So if you could kick on a flash shield or a penance, you could still cast radiance. So it's kind of depend on the meta and if you have time, because maybe there's a chance that you can actually save a talent. Because being able to run that, we get the shorter cooldown cast. So with that talent, just to show you guys, let's see what the cast time looks like on that. So the cast is, oh, I have to take away this talent. Hold on. So it's a relatively fast cast. So there might be a world where you could actually drop Ultimate Radiance. We'll just have to see on the talents that you'll end up going for. So, but that is actually a good option. Divine Aegis was double dipping, so they compensated with the buff. So kind of nothing there. So going into the PvP specific changes, we have new talents. So we have Phase Shift and Absolute Faith. Phase Shift is when you fade, you avoid all attacks for 1 second. This is a kind of tough one, right? So it is kind of nice to have. The duration, when the times that I did test this, it was really difficult to use. Like, you have to perfectly time it. 1 second is not a lot of time. Greater Fade, back when we had that, which is like what it kind of is like, you had 3 seconds or so, 3 to 4 seconds, I think, of like immunity. And then also Fade has kind of changed a bit over the time. Fade is like, me personally, I use Fade a lot for slow removal. And if you're going to be saving it and holding onto it for different CC moments, it may not be as good. But at the same time, when you do use that slow reduction, sometimes you are getting trained, so it is useful, but it's 1 second. I don't know if it's worth an entire talent. Me personally, I don't think I will use it, but maybe we'll find some niche situations. Absolute Faith. So this is when you do press the Leap of Faith, you will pull 3 allies in, and you will shield everybody for 90k. Let's see what's that number is in PvP here. So in combat here, still 90k. I don't think it'll be used, man. I don't see a use where or pulling everybody. If it had some sort of like maybe duration reduction as well or something, but I don't think this is good enough to pass on some of these other talents. going into that. So yeah, I'm not really. I think these are both kind of just a wash, honestly. And maybe there's a case where there's nothing else to run, because now that we don't need some of those other talents anymore. I mean, maybe you can just run Dark Arc. You can run Dark Arc and regular Archangel even at times. You'll have actually more opportunity to run one of those, or Catharsis. So we'll see kind of how that adapts. But I think it'll be a lot more opportunity to run Dark Arc and Archangel without having to run. You don't have to run Big Dome anymore because it's now baseline. Oh, on that note. Powered barrier increased effectiveness by 100%, and Dome of Light has been removed. So what that means is the increased damage reduction from Dome of Light is baseline in PvP, but you do not get the cooldown reduction anymore. So now it is just a 3-minute cooldown. So it's a kind of a nerf, kind of a buff. It's a buff in the way that you don't need to take the talent, and you can take something else and still get the full duration of it. But it's a nerf because you don't have the 1.5 minute cooldown. Dome, now you have to wait 3 minutes. So, you know, Soul Shuffle's probably pretty good because you rarely get 2. But regular 3s, I'll probably take a little bit of a hit on that. Okay, we have all of our CC reductions. So Mind Control, Shackle Undead, Psychic Horror, Silence are all getting reduced. So Fear is not getting reduced though. So remember that. Fear is getting better. Mind Control is getting nerfed though. So I don't know why they did Mind Control, not Fear. Kind of weird. And then Eternal Rest and Delivered from Evil, those are the 2 talents. One was the Shadow or Death, and the other one was the Leap of Faith talent. So those are all gone. So that is all of our changes for PvP. And then just finally, we have our tier set. So our tier set is, 2 set is Purge of the Wicked damage increased by 25%. Mind you, these are all nerfed by 50% in PvP. And Powered Radiance increase, healing increased by 15%. And then the 4 set, Atonements applied by Powered Radiance last 3 seconds longer. Your spells have a chance to cause your next Powered Radiance to be instant and cause... I don't think it's instant, is it? Okay, so in PvP, hold on. Is it still instant in PvP? That's actually a good question. Let me see if I can get a proc with this. Okay, is it still instant? It is still instant, okay. Because I know it does say nerfed by 50%. And it looks like the number changes. It says it costs 25% mana and it's instant. I think it's gonna be a tough decision because you're gonna lose a ton of versatility if you don't want to go this route. So like, just for example, let's say I have the 4 set here. This one has Verse Mastery, so you'd probably use that one. And then the other piece you would use would probably be the gloves, I would say. Master Haste gloves. Because you don't, if you go the helm, you'll get more verse. So, like, just for example, how much verse do we gain? Let me take my verse really quick here. I'm at 24. That's really low. Well, it's not in PvP. So I have 31 in PvP. Okay, that's actually not bad. And then let's swap these 2 pieces out here. Let's see what the changes on this. So I hope they still do like some sort of tuning pass on these tier set stats. It's kind of ridiculous that we have to go through this again. That's 4% versatility. So dropping that 4 set will give you 4% more healing and damage, which is really powerful for Disco and Priest. And you still get the Radiance buff and the damage healing, what do you call it, the extra bonus damage as well. My instinct is saying only run 2 set. I don't think that 4 set, if Ultimate, people are probably still going to run Ultimate Radiance because it is a 10% buff to Radiance. So I think my instinct's going to be going that route. Okay, so we got that, and then that was our tier sets. We have our PvP talents, our regular changes, and our tier set. In conclusion, should you play Discipline Priest? I personally think Discipline Priest is going to be very good going into the next season. I think it's going to be, in PvP at least, I think it's going to be very similar to it was Season 1. I think just a lot of the healers are probably going to be staying in about the same spot. You know, with Shamans, Evokers, Disc Priests probably being the stronger ones. But we'll see as things go on. We have the crit changes, the meta, maybe it will slow down or speed up. But honestly, if the meta does slow down a bit, it's not bad for Disc because Disc can play more offensive, which is a really good thing for kind of help with that snowball effect. And maybe you might be able to, play a little bit more offensive builds and whatnot. We'll see as it goes on. But I think Discipline is going to be a solid pick. I think it's going to be either an A tier or an S tier, depending on how things work out. Because that Purge of Wicked damage is really nice to have over the course. It is 12.5%. When I did play the testing, it was still at this full 25, and boy oh boy, it did so much damage. I wish I still had the the details on that, but it did so much damage, which means so much atonement healing at the same time. So that is all we got for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys see you in the next one. I'm gonna be make sure you guys like and subscribe if you did enjoy this content, because I'm gonna be putting out all the other healers as well. Have a good one. Peace.